Welcome back to the 2016-2017 NBA preview. Today we are covering the 12th ranked team in the preview, the Oklahoma City Thunder. This should be a fun one. My name is Joshua Envyerz, and with me today, like usual,
how's it going, guys? The king of the fourth quarter, aka Jaree. Welcome back to the NBA preview.
A lot has happened with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. I don't know if you've been living under a rock or not, but Kevin Durant has finally left this team and took his talents to a contending team, even though if this team, ironically enough, was a contending team, he essentially took his talents to a team that's been in the finals and has won a championship and has arguably one of the best shooters in the world right now. And we're not talking about guns, we're talking about shooting the basketball.
They had a nice little trio of Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and I guess if you want to put Serge Ibaka in there, Serge Ibaka. Last season was the first season of the newer head coach, Billy Donovan. He had Serge Ibaka standing at the three-point line way more than he ever has been in his career.
Yeah, Serge didn't like that, apparently.
Yeah, Serge did not like that. I didn't like that either. You know, They called Serge Ibaka for a reason.
A monster. He was amazing.
Not only that, the emergence of Steven Adams in the playoffs. He had a phenomenal playoffs, and then some downsides with the whole Draymond kick.
They went through a lot, and they blew that 3-1. They blew that 3-1.
They blew the 3-1 lead against the Golden State Warriors, but then they also got some controversial calls against the San Antonio Spurs, so I'm not mad that they blew a 3-1 lead, and that's all I'm saying. A lot of slander on Dion Waiters' name last season. Does he deserve it? Who knows, but unfortunately he's no longer on this team. I feel like if they were able to re-sign him, he would have been able to show out a little bit more. Projected coming out of college, Syracuse, he was projected to be a Monte Ellis, Dwayne Wade type player. Obviously now, he's not that player. No. But hopefully with the new team, he's able to show that he is a better player than he was with this Oklahoma City Thunder team.
Yeah, he ended pretty well. The playoffs he played, not great, but better than he had played in the previous year. So hopefully he can transition that to his new team. And I think the Miami Heat hope so too.
So moving on to the offseason moves by this Oklahoma City Thunder team. A lot happened in the offseason. They acquired Victor Oladipo and Ersan Ilyasova. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good acquisition right there. But if you look at the lost column, they lost Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka. Oh my God. Victor Oladipo and Ersan Ilyasova can't replace that, that's for sure. They also drafted Domantas Sabonis. Oh man, Kevin Durant leaving. This is all this episode really should be.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was the most surprising thing because honestly, in my eyes, I just thought that there's no way he's gonna leave this team. They were so close last season, just one win away. But then it happened, and it blew my mind because I definitely didn't expect him. If he was going to leave, I didn't expect him to go to already what seemed like the best team in the league. So I guess Russell was like, you know what? I'm going to stay pat. He signed that extension, renegotiated his contract, and he's there for a couple more years. So I think Oklahoma City fans have a little sigh of relief knowing that they won't be losing Russell Westbrook next season. But the KD moving was definitely surprising to me.
I saw him as a loyal guy. I made a video saying that he would be staying in Oklahoma City. But I did kind of call it, if I want to take that partial credit, I did say there was a small possibility of him going to the Golden State Warriors. I personally didn't feel like that was going to happen. I felt like it would just be completely unfair. But it looks like he wants to win, and now the base god curse is lifted. So yeah. Let's see what happens with Kevin Durant. In my opinion, they completely robbed the Orlando Magic on draft night.
Oh, yes, definitely. That trade was so lopsided. They trade a guy, Serge Ibaka, 1-year contract, no guarantee that he's going to stay in Orlando, for Victor Oladipo, the 11th overall pick. I'm pretty sure Sabonis was the 11th overall pick, and Ersan Ilyasova. I honestly think that Ersan and Victor Oladipo are going to play big roles in this team this year. And they just gave away Serge Ibaka for it. So I think they definitely robbed the Orlando Magic.
Although I don't like him, Sam Presti does an amazing job managing this team with the youth.
Yeah, he keeps the team fresh, but also keeps them competitive at the same time. And that's really rare.
Moving on to the rotation. The projected starting rotation for this Oklahoma City Thunder team looks like Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo, Andre Roberson, Ersan Ilyasova, and Steven Adams as the starters, while their bench looks like Cameron Payne, Kyle Singler, Josh Huestis, Nick Collison, and Enes Kanter.
I'm hoping that Victor Oladipo can actually hit his full potential. He didn't really get that chance in Orlando. I guess he had the chance, but he just didn't get it done. Hopefully, this new role kind of gives
He never
him,
had a player like Russell Westbrook, that's for
yeah,
sure.
he definitely. And I think I would consider him to be their second option, right? Would you say the same thing? Their second option, at least in the starting lineup?
I mean, if this is the starting lineup they go with for the majority of the games, yeah, considering Andre Roberson is going to try to pass up as much threes as possible.
Yeah, so he's definitely got to come too, and this is the year for it to happen.
He's with the better team with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. He's not with the Orlando Magic that have no idea what they're doing. This team is still a good playoff fighting team, and there's a lot of projections that Russell Westbrook may win MVP. Do you see that happening? Do you see him averaging triple doubles for a good majority of the season this season?
Now, the average and triple doubles thing is, I think that's a bit of a stretch, but he'll definitely have a lot of them. I don't think he's going to average that, though. I mean, it hasn't been done since Oscar Robertson. Back,
I mean, it's his team now.
30, 40 years ago. Yeah, but I don't see that being realistic. But I do see him definitely as an MVP candidate, especially if this team gets back to the playoffs without KD. I can easily see him getting votes for MVP. Cameron Payne actually had an injury this offseason, and he had to get that Jones fracture surgery, which is really scary. If you guys remember, that's what Kevin Durant had that caused him to sit out a good majority of a year, then basically an entire year. There's like a 60% chance, if I'm correct, that of success with the surgery, and Kevin Durant fell into that 40% that didn't recover after the first surgery. So they're hoping that Cameron Payne falls in a good 60 where he can come back next season and actually be productive for them. But he looked okay last season, and I think he can get better and be a legitimate backup for Russell. I honestly don't see Russell coming off the floor that often because he is their team right now, but Cameron Payne should play some really solid minutes for them, and I'm excited to see that.
So what you're saying is there may not be as many dances next season as there was this season.
Unfortunately, yeah, he may not be ready for the first game, and I know Russell Westbrook definitely wants to celebrate before tip-off, and I think he's going to have to go with Sabonis. Sabonis is going to have to be that new guy. Sabonis got to get into some dance classes and get to learn some routines.
I mean, he's white, so, I'm just saying. But there's not going to be much celebration if they're losing, so first and foremost, they have to figure out on how to win before they start dancing, because if you're losing and dancing like that, that's not going to fly.
Right, exactly.
Obviously, if Envyerz Cancer was capable, he could easily be inserted at that power forward position. A nice twin tower combination of Envyerz Cancer and Steven Adams. Envyerz Cancer has been able to stretch the floor as of recently. Not as a consistent shooter as Ersan Ilyasova, but I feel like Envyerz Cancer and Steven Adams, certain lineups that play small ball, that could really be a problem.
Would you play Sabonis over Nick Collison?
I'd put Mitch McGary over Sabonis.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that too. I forgot he was even a part of the team.
Yeah,
so,
he just smokes occasional weeds.
Yeah,
from time to time, but
okay.
he'll get some minutes. Moving on to the projections of this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder won 55 and lost 27 games. Over under, where do you see this team being this season?
Okay, I'm gonna say under. I think most people would agree. Kevin Durant leaving is a huge blow to this team. So I'm going to go under, but I think that they're definitely going to be fighting for a playoff spot. I would say
they will.
44, 45. And so much pressure is going to be on Russell Westbrook. I don't think he can get it all done himself. 44, 45 is where I'm projecting it.
All right, I was going to be a little bit generous toward this Oklahoma City Thunder team, but looking at this team, we feel like this team can still make the playoffs, but if anything goes wrong with Russell Westbrook, it's a wrap for this Oklahoma City Thunder team.
Russell
exactly.
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook's shown that he's essentially not human coming back from major injuries such as meniscus tears and knee injuries.
Facial fracture.
Yeah. Broke his jaw and came back a day later.
So his injury, if he does get injured, he'll be back a week later, no matter the severity.
Hopefully Russell Westbrook's able to show out and prove that it's his team and prove that he can lead a team, because there's a lot of questions. Can Russell Westbrook lead the team? And in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook made a lot of costly mistakes that made them lose against the Golden State Warriors. So it's going to be interesting to see what Russell Westbrook can do, and hopefully he's able to pull off at least 49 wins at max. That feels like a little bit overachieving, but it'd be interesting to see nonetheless. This is a very surprising team in next year. So with that said, this is our projection for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you feel like we have this team too high or too low? Let us know in the comment section below, along with leaving a like on this video and sharing it on any social media. And speaking of social media, all of our social media links will be in the description below. This series takes quite some time to make.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to be looking out for tomorrow's video.
We're getting up there. Good teams are on the horizon. We'll talk to you guys then.